progressive trail or the achievement trail, whatever you want to call it. And I want to ask you, one of the things whose answers could change your life? What problems can you solve? And usually, when most people attempt to answer this question, they go straight for their skills, their training, their qualifications. What I have come to know though is that that's not always the clue. No. The challenges you face are the universe's way of preparing you for this. For example, some of the greatest people we know had children who were abused and they took on the system. And their take of the system built them some influence. Some people had an accident and they lost limbs and they were beginning to live an awful life. And in the pursuit of finding better limbs, they have become entrepreneurs and they engineer limbs for other amputees. That's what makes these people great. Some people would have suffered some injustice, and in wanting to seek redress for this injustice, they find ways to do. That's what I've come to know. I've always said that your adversities are here preparing you, and well, we finally add this. Your adversity is actually trying to prepare you for your greatness. Your adversity is trying to prepare you for your greatness. I have come across so many things. One of the things that I'm into at the moment is software. How did I end up as a software entrepreneur? I was trying to find software to do business with, to build my courses with. And a lot of the software that I encountered were not great. Those softwares were not great. Those softwares, they took my money and did nothing back. A lot of these platforms were a scam for me. And so I hopped from place to place to place, understanding the problem that entrepreneurs are facing. And guess what? I have just found and engineered, and I'm continuing to engineer better solutions to that problem, so that as a user of my software, I have a better experience, and other users of my software will have a much better experience than the other people that I use to turn to for a solution. You see, I would not have positioned myself as a software entrepreneur. I would not. But the universe wanted me to become a software entrepreneur. So the universe had me needing software. The universe found me discovering that a lot of the software were rubbish or polished rubbish in most of the cases. They just took your money, did nothing to help you. And after hopping from software to software, from software to software, I finally settled down to working on a solution for myself and for others. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just discovered how I have become a software entrepreneur. And that is how majority of you really would end up in the businesses that you should do. Unfortunately for most of us, we face the problem, we don't chase the solution, or when we find the solution, we are done for ourselves. We don't sit down to think about all the other people who have the same problem as you did and the benefits of the solution that you found. Even if you don't manufacture the solution, you could be the gatekeeper or the signposter of this information that could transform people's lives. Whose problem can you solve? How good is your solution? How many such people with that problem exist? If you want to predict your success, the answers to these questions will help you. If you are going to help a handful of people, well, your clients will be a handful. You have to be incredibly aggressive in your marketing in order to be able to get the handful, or you must be incredibly expensive so that a handful of people using your solution might still bring you the earnings that will change your life. That is possible. But if the people who need your solution are many, it is less challenging to reach many. It is more likely that some of the many will encounter your solution, and if it's as good as it should be, they will recognize it for its value, and they will begin to use it and will begin to recognize it, and very soon, you will find your name a household name. There's a girl whose bag company went viral in COVID. All these designer bags that we have been buying, very expensive, no relationship to them, everybody has. She did something which had a social justice, community payback type thing. People identified with it, people jumped on it. It became swag to carry her bag, because when you carry one of her bags, you know that you have done direct good for particular people that she clearly identified. People were jumping straight on. She discovers people's need for feeling that they are giving back. People have that need to give back. People have the need to buy things, and she managed to connect people's emotional needs in various dimensions. If you were to buy a bag, which you are going to buy anyway, and you also felt that you were affecting the lives of people directly, and the people whose lives you were directly affecting were documented for your benefit, you will feel great. And that's what her customers did. She solved that problem for them. Large numbers of people wanted to have that problem solved for them. And guess what? Guess what? Let me tell you what. Her business took off straight past the sky into the oblivion that is the rest of the universe. Yeah. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because in 2026 there are many big problems to be solved. No, it's not just about the shoes of your neighbor. I know your neighbor has wonky shoes. You are not going to purchase new shoes for him, so there's no need to discuss it. Absolutely no need. In 2026, the better thing to do is to focus on the problem that business people are having in your local area. It is much better to focus on the things that you can do to support these business owners. It is critical to understand the products that you can put into people's hands to change their lives. People are struggling to edit videos. Well, you can come up with a video editing AI. If you came up with a video editing AI that was better than the ones that are on the market, guess who would be your client? Me. If you came up with a better auto scheduler that was AI driven and was intelligent in making decisions, absolutely, I will be your client. There are so many users on social media for business, and a lot of us are dying under the strain of maintaining our businesses and trying to maintain the public profile that our businesses need to survive. We need the publicity, we do. But to combine the creation of the publicity to the creation of the product is challenging for most people. Most of us who use social media for business need some support in order to keep our profile active and to focus still on the products that we are looking to put out. Anybody who comes up with those solutions, I've given you 2 problems that you can solve. But the exercise for you is really simple. What problems exist in your domain? And it's usually going to be problems that you have faced yourself. Sit down, pick a big piece of paper, list all the problems you have had in the last 12 to 18 months, all your serious challenges, the things that have really made you whack your brain to try and find a solution, and you have it. List them, and start looking for who else has those problems. The problem you discover is common to many people, especially the one whose solution was a bit obscure and it's not obvious to everyone. Now that is your positioning. You realize that this morning I am actually working on your business ideas with you. I'm helping you to identify the kind of businesses you will run. Obviously, once you know this line of business, you will need to go and find a business model that fits. You will need to identify a model. And once you've got your model, you need to learn the model and you've got to be able to execute it. I'm not suggesting that identification of your niche alone will make you rich, but that is a huge step in moving, especially if you are accurate in your identification of a niche with a large number of people who share that pain point. Your business must have its pain points and you must know it. What is the pain point of most of your prospective customers? What makes their life difficult? Go find a solution for that problem. Position that solution. Make sure that your positioning becomes mainstream. And that is your ticket out of struggle. That's your ticket out of financial struggle. Most businesses who have done well have gone through this. Some of them consciously, most of them unconsciously, but that is the recipe. That's the formula out of difficulty. Sit down and think. What have been your problems? I have had software problems for such a long time. And in fact, I still do have software problems in many domains. But I have figured out one software problem for myself that I'm now selling to other people. And it is now my business to make sure that the people who encounter my solutions recognize it as good value, and that I also put it out here so that large numbers of people will find my solutions. That is my thing. There we go. And if I am able to do this, my brain is already churning. Yeah. If I'm able to do a good enough job of that, I would expect to do well. Imagine, for me, 100 people on my software would be a game changer. 100 people. The day I cross 1,000 people on my software, that day would be a whole different day. Yeah, but 100 people on my software is a very good position to find myself. And that is what I am looking to make my target for 2025. 100 on the software, using it regularly. That will be a game changer. See, I am becoming clearer of certain things that need to happen in 2026 as we speak. And that exercise is what I recommend for you to do. I recommend that you do that exercise. You will find that exercise game transforming. What are the problems that you have faced that others will face? What solutions have you engineered because you faced these problems? How can you make those solutions mainstream so that the people who share your pain points could share your solutions? That is my gift to you this morning. That is a life transforming gift if it lands in the right hands. I do pray that you are the right hands. That information doesn't just end in your hands. And you don't just admire information and watch it move without you. I hope that the exercise I recommended is something you do. Pick a big piece of paper, an A3 sheet or poster paper, and start listing every challenge you have faced in your personal life, in your professional life, in your social life. List every problem you have encountered in the last 18 months. Identify the most significant of the challenges. Once you've identified them, which ones will be shared challenges? Some of them would be. What sort of people share that challenge? Did you find solutions to those challenges? How many of those people who share the challenge could benefit from your solution? How can you monetize your solution? And that is the formulation of your business model right there. The beginning of your business plan right there. When you have figured that out, there is still work to be done. But at least this is the first state. This is your first course. This is your first actions in a long plan. Very important actions. I'm finding this Facebook thing so annoying. I'm going to have to find a new, or maybe use some of my existing softwares to stream. And I'm looking for ways in which I can stream to multi-platforms again. I'll have to go back and have a look at the one I have, and let's see what we can do. Anyway, good morning. Whatever the time happens to be. At your end, it is morning for me. I wish you safe travels if you are traveling. I wish you good sleep if you are about to sleep. And I wish you a productive day if you are starting your day like I am. Sometime during this day, please do take the time to carry out the exercise with your big piece of paper. And once you have made discoveries, we can take it to the next step. I will love you, I will leave you, and I will see you guys later on in the day. I think I'll see you guys in the evening.